Why are cookies being portrayed as poppy cultivators, or why are cookies being, being considered outsiders? I'm reversing my question today. I'm saying that yes, Meiteis are majority community, but how come majoritarianism is being attributed towards Meitei? Isn't it like the same narrative? मतलब हर कुकी अगर outsider है तो आप मेथी को majoritarian बोल रहे हैं, तो Meiteis are also becoming victim of a false narrative कि मेथी है तो majoritarian politics करता है, ये भी तो गलत है, madam.
Yes, that's why I'm saying this conflict has been engineered by those who have access to guns, drugs, and political power. I've been saying it from the day the violence started, because we have been, like many scholars here, I'm also a product of JNU, and in JNU I had conducted, because I have lost family members in this conflict, not this current conflict, but in the past. My own parents been nearly shot. So many of us, even here, we have had so many family members who have lost our lives in this violence. There are 1,500 extrajudicial killing cases in the Indian Supreme Court. So what is happening in Manipur is not just on 3rd of May, but it's a long-standing way in which guns, and all sorts of unethical practices in our, politics have resulted in even drug lords elected to power. And as a result, public had no proper voice. Voices like ourselves were almost like nuzzled, because when we talk about peace, attack from both sides. So I think it is really important to, first of all, stop the name calling. Stop the name calling of any community. This is wrong, number one. Number two, how do we sort of heal the pain, the loss, the killings, which is now really like seared our hearts and minds. But let us also remember that Manipur has seen ethnic violence before also, and the world has also seen. So we are working hard, very, very hard now to get mediators. And I appeal to all our brothers who are in this program and those who are listening, and sisters, to put our heads and our hearts to how to heal. That's why the Truth and Reconciliation Commission is very important to address. It is the people of Manipur, of all hills in the valley, who it is our land, our collective land, and to protect our collective rights. We can do this together. We can. I truly believe in my heart of hearts that we can do this together. We are in touch with several community women leaders. From my heart, I'm not into any politics in Manipur, and neither do I want to be, knowing how dirty it is. But it is important that we will defend and protect each and every innocent lives, that no further lives are lost in both the hills and the valley. We will stand united to protect this, and we will go on. If we are saying, if your quest for war and our quest for peace is greater than your quest for war. So this is very important, and we have not discussed. So United Nations Office on Drug and Crime has said that the drug production in the Golden Triangle, which is now Golden Pentagon, with the introduction of drug production in many parts of northeast of India, has also doubled since the Burmese military rule. So what we have to also realize, both in the hills and valley, who have suffered from drug abuse, HIV, AIDS, we know that Manipur has 23% of HIV rates in the entire country. Can you imagine? So both people of both hills and valley have fallen prey to drug addiction and HIV/AIDS. So we have to collectively work together that we do not allow drug warlords from outside, from Burma, or those who are connected within our state, that they should not put our children, our youth, to die. So the war is not just about ethnicity, it's also about how to confront the drug warlords who are trying to poison our communities and generating this violence because they have purchased political power or because of their drug money. And all communities are involved in this. So we should, both the hills and the valley, the people must wake up. This is a wake-up call to the 3.3 million people living in the beautiful state of Manipur, that this is a wake-up call to ensure that we protect the lives of our children for generations to come. 3rd of May should never happen again in the history of Manipur.
Professor Oinam, so this is the hard reality. which Madam Binalakshmi spoke about, drugs complicating the political situation in Manipur? Something that is not being spoken about, talked enough. Professor Oinam?
Yes.
So that's the real issue. The drug is the real issue. That is complicating the political situation.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Oh yes, absolutely. You are audible. Absolutely.
Yes, that is a point that we have been talking for quite some time. Even a writ petition has been filed in the Supreme Court recently, in the month of May, against what we call narco-terrorism. And we have even submitted to the Honorable Supreme Court to begin this investigation from the huge consignment of heroin confiscated in Adani port, and then in Delhi subsequently. And then, you know, your own channel is now showing out that since this whole crisis started, from January to June, how much of drugs has been confiscated or people arrested in Mizoram and Manipur. So this is a real big issue. And even in the initial stage, it has been found that many of the Kuki militants who died of the class of shooting, many what you called drugs were found being used by these militants. So it is not only the people, but those who are into the conflict, they are also victim of this drug menace. And it is not only the people of Manipur and Mizoram, but it is going to escalate, and it is going to spread out in the entire country and beyond. So this threat is not confined to the region that is Northeast, but it is for the entire country. So we have to take this very seriously. And also the point that the money that has been used for buying of arms, ammunitions, very sophisticated arms and ammunitions, which are not even used by the police forces. State police forces do not use sniper and such sophisticated arms. So you can see the amount of money that have gone into procuring of arms. And I'm not talking of one community, but across the warring community. Now I could say very confidently that sophisticated arms has been procured in both sides, both conflicting communities, forgetting, you know, the armed security forces. So disarming is certainly one of the major agenda that government should take up. But as you have raised this point, that narco-terrorism is extremely a serious matter, because this involves forces outside the country, both in terms of drug mafia as well as arms smugglers. So even we have to look into seriously whether any important, powerful neighboring countries are involved. Because 2 points, let me say, Kartikeya, and before I end. Look at this 3rd of May. It started the violence. And it was a day on which Vice President of India came to Manipur. Please note this. And violence erupted on that day. What does the message go? So whoever is instigating violence is linking into delegitimizing the symbols of India's state structure. Again on 28th, it started, violence erupted in a huge way on 27th night, and shooting went on in the entire 28th of May. And 28th of May is the day when new parliament was inaugurated. So these are not mere coincidence. I strongly believe that some invisible hands are playing with the armed groups to escalate violence, come up with very sporadic violence, targeting certain dates, which is very sacrosanct to the Indian state in the region.